KKSM AM 1320 Oceanside, streaming worldwide at PalomarCollegeRadio.com. This is DJ Roob. Welcome to another installment of Not So Serious Radio's San Diego Local Live Set. And we are pleased to have tonight in our midst San Diego's The Spiritual Motels. When you're ready, hit it.
Trying to choose the chemicals coursing through my brain. I'm medicating exit wounds and everything's the same. I'm throwing down those poison thoughts like shots with my old friends and waiting for the serotonin to level me out again. If the songs are in my darkness, then in darkness I will dwell, like my inspiration in a prison cell. My functioning like poetry is in and out of rhyme. So I'll see you again in the morning time. My bones, I'm admitting to the lies that I always tell myself to make sense of this life. I'm tearing down the monument of a self-ego defiant and waiting for the serotonin to help me change my mind. If the trance is in my darkness, then in darkness I will dwell. Trap my search for knowledge in a wishing well. My functioning like poetry is in and out of rhyme. So I'll see you again in the morning time. I strive to see life's strange design, both beautiful and broken. But some lights don't shine on folks who keep asking why. We were set upon this foundation. If the truth lies in my darkness, then in darkness I will dwell. Burn my whole existence in this spiritual motel. The functioning like poetry is in and out of rhyme. So I'll see you again in the morning time. Yes, I'll see you again in the morning. This one's called If We Never Land. I'll do the dishes tonight if you'll sweep the floor. And I'll try to shut up or be kind if you'll say something that won't start a war. And I'll see the children to bed if you'll watch terrible TV. And I'll try to stay out of my head if you'll try to be easy on yourself. And I'll agree to any terms you set if you'll still gamble on me, since our love is not immune to time. Let's try and treat it like a baby who is destined to lead. And I'll keep falling with you, keep falling. Yes, I'll keep falling with you, keep falling, even if we never land. Thank you.
The Spiritual Motels live here on Not So Serious Radio. Hello.
Hi.
Hey, Roob.
Hey, that was very lovely. Those
Thanks.
tracks, that was If We Never Land, and you opened it off with Serotonin.
Yeah.
Both are going to be on your upcoming debut EP.
Right.
which
Those
is
are actually the only two songs we know. That's it. Just
Oh,
just
are you
the
going to
two.
play them a few more times
Yeah, I was
tonight?
just going to play them over and over for the next few
Can you
years.
play one backwards at least?
Yeah. Nope.
This must be that witty banter we were talking
Yeah,
about.
I've scripted this out in advance.
But again, on the new EP, and it's called, oh my gosh, my notes. Tell me what it's called.
Super Tiny Disappearing Oceans. is
Oh,
the name of it.
that wasn't even in my notes. That's terrible. And well, I don't even. I have a million questions all at once. But before I go further with this, I wanted to introduce you too, or perhaps you can introduce yourselves.
My name is Omar Musisco.
And I'm Amy Day.
All right, that took care of the introductions. All right.
I'm a Virgo.
Yeah.
No.
You're definitely not a long walks on the beach kind of guy, though, I don't think. So, and again, as I mentioned, it's your debut, so you guys are relatively new performing together and creating music together. Tell us a little bit about your backgrounds in the scene here and how you've met.
So we've been playing together for about a year and a half-ish. And we were in separate bands. Amy had a band called The Local. I had a band called The Peripherals. We had a gig together. I was looking for a more, I guess, a folkier project. The band was a little bit on the rocking side of Americana. I was looking for something harmony heavy. And we connected through that, started doing songs on this amazing app that we love, which is free. And we always have to plug it. It's called BandLab. It's virtual
Band what?
collaborations. BandLab.
Lab.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
never heard of this.
It's awesome.
It's kind of like GarageBand, where you can track your music and work collaboratively with people, but totally free. And it's it's not like being in the studio, but it's a great way to prepare for what you would do in the studio and develop parts and things like that. And it has a social function to it, so you can work collaboratively with other people, which is pretty cool.
And Amy started adding vocals and accordion and piano to these tracks. And I was just like, oh man, there's like magic here. It was pretty inspirational.
Yeah, I'm going to excuse myself and go download that app right now,
Yeah.
if you don't
Bye.
mind.
It's
We'll
worth
do our
it.
2 songs again.
That's perfect.
Twice.
So that, of course, that makes it a lot easier in this day and age to get things done, especially if you have other music projects going on.
And wait, so we
families.
basically never had to look at each other. We've barely met.
No,
No, just kidding.
would you recognize
For a
each other in a
second.
crowd?
Who is that?
So that worked out really well. And then, but you've been playing around a bit.
A lot.
Yeah.
All right,
I know
so it
we
was a
probably
lot.
did like 40 or more gigs
We've
in
done
the
a-
last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We gigged to pay for the album.
We take every
So.
gig.
Yeah,
We say yes.
as you should. Yeah, you'll have to. I'm not sure about the pay for this one, but this might be one of those ones. Yeah, hey, put that down for marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us about the songwriting process, the collaborations. I know clearly it was technology based and there was some back and forth, but tell us a little bit more about how it works. Did you each introduce songs, for example, or is...
So this project is primarily Omar's songwriting. So Omar is just an unbelievably prolific songwriter. He just writes songs at a pace that is kind of astonishing. You know, so those of us who write songs, you know, we sort of all have our pace at which we can work, and Omar is like insanely faster than that.
It's important to recognize that may be the case to an extent, but then I keep about 2% of like
Right.
2 of 100 are make
so
it to here.
you know, we really kind of came at this project from the perspective of like Omar was developing this body of material that sort of warranted its own project. So this album that we're releasing, he wrote the 10 songs that are on the album. We work more collaboratively in sort of other ways, but this, you know, particular project is his songwriting, and I just felt like it was just an amazing fit for what I had to contribute. I felt like the music that Omar had started writing when I had already, you know, been writing when I met him was the music that I would choose to listen to. And, you know, it was sort of like there was just this space for me in it to play the piano and to sing harmony. And so I just felt really sort of connected to it, enthusiastic about developing
I
it.
think something when like playing off of our name is like the spiritual motels. I think of like Amy's the spiritual component and I'm the motel component, where like what she brings to the table musically has, you know, this beauty, and where I have this, for lack of a better word,
Bed bugs.
Yeah, bed bugs.
Bed bugs.
Right. Untrustworthiness.
Sanitized
Chain
for your
locks.
protection.
Right. Low, I cost much less.
Dirty comforters.
I think we've explored that
Wear flip-flops.
metaphor deeply enough, but
Yeah.
that combination I thought played so nice. You know, we had to pursue it.
So then, was it more or less like you would go to that app and say, okay, I'm going to upload this guitar track. Here are the chords, and this is what it is.
Yeah.
What do you
yeah.
think, Amy?
I said, like, what do you think of this? And then, like, she is so passionate and efficient that, like, within hours or days, suddenly I'd be like, she'd have like 20 new ideas on it. Like, whoa! Like, I'd send her like this rough, you know, few little things, and she would add so much to it so quickly that the project developed with kind of great ease.
Yeah, really,
Yeah.
really fast.
Yeah.
So was it hard to pick just the 10 tracks? Did you
Yeah,
say
it
10?
Yeah.
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 Oh, yeah.
We probably know we had like 30-ish to choose from.
And we also worked on the album over the course of a year, and so the songs that we chose when we began recording the album, you know, we've done so much since that began.
Probably written some new ones, too.
Oh,
we have like
so
2
many,
more
yeah.
albums
Yeah.
right now, but
Yeah,
just haven't had the time to get to them yet.
yeah,
Okay, well, that's first things first, right?
yeah.
So back to the name of the band, the duo, the Spiritual Motels. That was a lyric in the first song you played, Serotonin. Can you go into that a little bit more about what that signifies?
That's
Besides sanitary toilet seats?
No
and-
bed bug references.
We'll
and
avoid that.
begin.
But I think that song was our first song that we worked on together, and when that lyric came, I was like, oh man! Like I texted Amy, I'm like, what about the Spiritual Motels? And she's like, yep. You know, when you're doing a band name, normally you go through this list, and someone vetoes this, and you second guess it, and you keep changing it.
That's part of the fun of being in a band.
Right, but this one was like, how about this? We're like, yes, that's the answer. And so it made a lot of sense with the musical content. You know, there's a lot of juxtaposition between dark and light, and like finding beauty in pain, and sort of mental health, and like what addiction, and all these sort of darker themes. But then within it is like in each of them is like a twist of hope. You know, in this difficult, traumatic, stressful world, that there is much to be found in beauty.
I would like to check into the Spiritual Motel until the election's over in 2020.
Until the election.
Yeah.
Or perhaps for an additional 4 years thereafter.
Now. All right. So, here's some more music. Of course, the tracks, as we mentioned earlier, are going to be from the upcoming album, and the next one on the list is "Issues." Do you have a lead-in for that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit self-explanatory. You know, it's about that everyone is dealing with something. I kind of alluded to mental health before, so that's a component. But this one specifically is saying that, like, beneath those, like, what's beneath those, and that's where beauty and love can continue to flourish and exist. So recognizing that these things exist, but also recognizing that's just a fraction of what makes up a whole person.
Okay. I buy that. All right, we got the Spiritual Motels live here on Not So Serious Radio on KKSM.
Just because I don't trust you, it doesn't mean that you're not someone I could trust. I'm not a judge or a sturdy crutch. I likely flee the scene before the danger comes rolling through. But what if I was someone you'd rely on? What if I figured out love's dance? Well, that would mean we have a chance to finally be free from our issues.
Just because enough is enough, that don't mean that you and me are any better off than we were then through a blurred lens, trying to make what's real bend to arrive
Somewhere, somehow, anywhere better than this. What if I
with someone you'd rely on.
What if I
Could figure out love's dance. Would that mean we have a chance to finally be free from our issues?
Your ground is my ground, and all the love that we once found is here. Where my ground is your ground, and we understand the nature of our fears. Where your ground is my ground, and all the love that we once found is here. Where my ground is your ground, and we understand. Yes, we understand that if I was someone you rely on, that if I could figure out love's dance, well, that would mean we have a chance to finally see that all the love that we once found is here beneath our issues. Thank you. This next one's called Turn the Searchlight In. A sunrise, a clean slate, an empty morning's in a state, a higher self, a better way, still feels in reach. The moon, the tide, the brain, the mind, the righteous path, the steepest climb with all of us just grains of sand seeking our beach. I feel hope. And I see fields of light up ahead, for if this road leads to our suffering, then we're already home. So someone's street is sundown in a ghost town with your arms held out from the rain clouds, so dark and proud that you start to pour. Your consciousness, your ego's mess, your fears, your love, your lust, your stress, flood it all into the nothingness until you show that there's more and have hope. You see those fields of light wide and spread, for if this road leads to our suffering, then we're already home.
So in the steam from the street and the rain, find the luminous fiction as it tries to explain that love is a mountainous trail, meant to be conquered and claimed. The dark, the light, the magic, the plane, the teller that translates the ultimate tale, transposes our heartache and pisses the veil to have hope and keeps those fields alive in our heads. Thank you. That has a trick ending on it.
You caught me out of my perch there. All right. So to remind our audience, that the last track was Turn the Searchlight In, and the other track you played earlier was Issues, both from the upcoming album.
Super Tiny Disappearing Oceans.
Yeah, there you go. So that album is coming out on the 23rd of this month.
Correct.
So shortly.
Yeah, we are launching the album and celebrating its release with the world on the 23rd with a show at the Marrow in Hillcrest.
The album launch party will be also on the bill of the album launch party is Lindsay White and the Becca J Band. That's quite a bill you got.
Yeah, we're really excited. They're friends of ours and amazing songwriters.
Yeah, and it's a Saturday, no less.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No excuses,
No
friends of the band.
Nope.
And then you guys are going to go on at 4:30, right, in the afternoon?
No.
So that's Saturday, November 23rd. But before that, next Friday, November 15th, you're playing at the San Diego Folk Heritage Festival, I imagine?
No, so San Diego Folk Heritage is like a standing, folk music organization. So they get these major folk touring bands coming through. We're opening for Dan Frechette and Laurel Thompson. They're like folk legends, like they're a folk duo. And so they have like a standing, I think twice monthly show. They've got kind of this regular crew.
We're going to try to outfolk them.
Yeah, we're going to outfolk them. I'm bringing the accordion for that one.
Oh, you should come fully
I'm
armed.
going to wear
Yeah.
clogs.
Oh, yeah.
No
and
pun
do the
intended.
River dance.
I'm going to wear a peasant dress. It's going to be flowy.
What'd you just say about river dance?
I'm going to wear wooden shoes.
You're going to
and
clog it?
See how they handle that.
Is that folk or is that just odd?
I don't know.
Folk odd.
Folk is odd.
But so you mentioned accordion, and
Yeah.
you're here tonight. We have a guitar, we have keys, but you both are multi-instrumentalists, and this duo is equipped to play lots of other instruments that aren't here tonight.
Yeah,
Care to name a few?
We use accordion on a few tracks. Sometimes we'll change up the arrangement and make it acoustic only. We've done, Amy plays guitar as well. I play mandolin. We switch like that sometimes. And then we also do a lot of, we'll do live looping as well. And so we'll do rhythm tracks, sort of these type of moves. And loop things like that and play with that. We're not doing any of that tonight, but that's part of our longer
What?
set. Yeah.
That's why you're here.
I don't know. Now
We
that you say
saved
that.
all our best stuff to do not for you. But it's great.
These are our worst songs. I don't know why we chose them. Our least favorite.
We don't like them.
You said you were going to play your hits. It's in the contract. Oh, my goodness. So, as I mentioned earlier, I have a question I often ask folks who come through here. What are you listening to lately? What's stuck on repeat?
I am listening to our album on repeat, and that's not just like a stupid plugging the album thing. I mean, we're listening for any flaws, any problems.
Right.
You know, it is like this fine.
Isn't it too late now?
No,
No.
it's never too late. Even once it's out in the world, it won't be too late. And I'm so proud of the way that the songs, have held up. Like, we've lived in this album for a year, and I still love the songs on the album. So that's really cool. And then I'm also listening to Andrew Bird's new album, which is really beautiful.
Andrew Bird has a new album. See,
Yeah.
It's called My Finest Work Yet, which is an amazing name for an album. We just saw him the other night at the House of Blues. He's the best ever. So
Did
that's
he
what I'm
wissle?
listening to.
A lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's the
Boy,
best
did he whistle.
whistler.
You should think about incorporating whistling in some of your stuff.
Yeah, I can't. I can only do the.
If I was wearing wooden shoes and just yeah, that's good. That's a good recommendation.
Thanks.
All right, write
Thanks
that
for
down.
that.
Write that down, Amy.
Cool.
It's happening at our next gig, so
What are you
be
listening to?
ready.
What are you listening to, Omar?
Are you supposed to be asking questions?
I'd like to take the lead. Hey, Omar, how have you been?
I bounce around a lot. But like Amy said, we've been living and breathing this album to make sure that it's ready to put into the world. And this is maybe the first thing that I've been able to do that with and not hate. every project I've ever been, you get so critical on what you're doing, and you're looking for like, is that a finger noise that I could eliminate? And like it becomes intolerable, like you can't enjoy it. But this is the first time like I still like it, so it's really weird. I don't know if I've ever felt pride in any regard, outside of my kids, like self-pride. It's a new emotion for me.
You should write a song about
Yeah.
I'm so proud now. But listening to, I've been really into Thelonious Monk lately, just the grooves and the unusual chord voicings and all those things that are going on that I don't really ever do. But I'm like, wow, maybe someday I'll do some of that. That, and I've been literally liking, I've always loved the Violent Femmes, and so I've been kind of going back into their catalog and just continuing to love them lately.
Yeah, well, Spotify and Apple Music really help with that, right? It's all at your fingertips. Yeah. Before we get to your last track, I wanted to know if you guys have any shout-outs to anybody out there in the listening world.
Yeah, we could do some shout-outs.
I'll
my people back.
How about like where the album was recorded? I don't think we mentioned that.
Yeah, so we've essentially been spending the last year gigging to feed the family of Mike Camus at Earthling Studios.
Yeah. He's hungry.
Yeah, so he's amazing. He did a phenomenal job. That's who we did the entire album there. He was the sound engineer and everything, and did all of it, and also played the cello on one of the tracks.
And he was also integral in. Since there's two of us, you need a tiebreaker a lot of the time. So we're like Mike, and so we leaned on him heavily in his expertise to be like, should this happen or this happen? He'd be like, this. We're like, okay, we trust you. So many good things for that.
You got another shout out?
No, I was just taking a big deep breath.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't gonna say anything after that breath.
This is the portion of the program where we're gonna just breathe.
Yeah, well, that's what we do usually before the last song. Cleansing breath.
Sorry. All right, go ahead. Shout it out.
Well, I mean, our families have been extremely supportive of us in this. It's been taken a lot of time, a lot of energy, although it's been a wonderful and fun, beautiful experience. It's also like taken that we both have little ones, and so we've been away from them a little bit. Shout out to them for sure.
Yeah, I would like to shout out to my children as well. My husband and my children, my 3 boys.
They're
very
listening
supportive.
right now, right?
Oh, they're listening. They think that this is really, really cool. Like
you
they
have
know
arrived.
This is a big deal. Yeah.
You have arrived,
So,
Amy.
hi, Jacob, Sam, and Henry.
There you go. It worked out.
When you say shout out, I want to just like be a rapper immediately and be like, to all my people back in PA. You know, like, say it in some way that I don't have the right to say.
It was an open-ended question.
Yeah.
I'll translate. What he meant was to all the people I know who live in Pennsylvania.
Yes, they're all listening because they stayed up extra late to hear this live. All right, so you got one more for us. It looks like it's called Cognitive Kids. Any lead in for that?
Go ahead, Amy, cover that one.
Nope. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is when Omar sent me this, I thought this is sort of a modern reinterpretation of the Louis Armstrong song, "What a Wonderful World." It's just a list of really good stuff.
Am I gonna cry?
You'll probably cry.
Okay.
Yeah. If you don't, I'll throw something at you and guarantee that it happens one way or the
Salt
other.
lamp.
Salt lamp first going.
Put that there for a reason.
All right, the Spiritual Motels from San Diego are going to make us cry right now with this track right here on KKSM, the Radio Revolution.
There's an influx of antidotes and bonds thick as blood.
Most people I know aren't addicted to drugs.
There's mercy awaiting in the frail tiny hugs of our ever more cognitive kids.
And here on this rock, a perfect distance from a star,
People bounce back from tragedies, heal from their scars.
with concern to keep this world in need of a fix
From getting any more sick, and there's things for which love's just too small a word.
There's kindness in the worst of us and sense in the absurd.
There's $1 billion mansion in all of our hearts where anyone with love can live. And I'm not saying, no, I'm not saying we should celebrate the symmetry of a mushroom cloud. I believe that we can
can choose where our consciousness dwells.
There's miracles in the minuscule and street saints unnamed.
There's melodies in the underbelly, forefronts the same.
Even floating, we're grounded more than gravity explains.
While oxygen lives in our lungs, and more beauty exists than a poet could list.
There's times to embrace and times to resist.
Well, there's melodies that moan sweetly through all of this for anyone who's open to hear. And I'm not saying, no, I'm not saying we should substitute rose-colored glasses for agents of change. I believe that there's more beauty here than there is pain. We've got cures and chemistry and gasless cars, science and fiction and national parks. There's most of our knowledge in all of our phones. There's comfort inside of our overkill homes. There's mindfulness, wistfulness, drugs and rehab, empaths and therapists for those rough times we had. There's romance, there's poetry and video calls. There's magnificent ways to fall in love with it all.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having us.
Oh, you spiritual motels, you. Thank you. That was lovely. Omar and Amy, thank you so much for coming, bringing
Thanks,
it here. And as a reminder, everyone listening, next Friday, November 15th, you can catch Spiritual Motels at San Diego Folk Heritage at Templars Hall in Poway. And they're opening for Dan Frechette and Laurel Thompson. And then, November 23rd, it's a Saturday, the album launch party at the Marrow in Hillcrest with Lindsay White and the Becca J Band. There you go. There's your plan for November 23rd. So thanks again. It was a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
And see you on the circuit.
Yeah, see you out there.
KKSM, the Radio Revolution.